Okay, the system is working.
Good.
And I'll let two people are there. I'll let them in.
Okay, sounds good.
One new person.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Okay, you can start.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Hopefully we'll have a few more joining us, but welcome. My name is Julie from Ocean Rehab and Fitness. If you're just joining for the first time today, all of our work today is seated. We will need a physio band. So if you happen to have a physio band handy, that would be great. We're going to use it for several different exercises today. I try to cue so that if you decide either you don't have a band today, or if you decide maybe you're working through a bit of an injury or a sore muscle where you would rather not use the band for the exercises that we're doing, that's totally fine too. So I will let you use that as you will. We won't be using it yet, but we will be using it in a little while. So I'm going to do our warm up. We're going to move through actually a pyramid training session today. That will make more sense in a few minutes, but basically we'll do some cardio and some resistance exercises, kind of one after the other, taking a rest whenever we need to. And then we'll always stretch it out at the end. So with that in mind, we're going to start in a seated position with our back supported by the chair. And we're just going to take a few minutes to settle into some breathing here. So maybe you close your eyes and just take a moment to do a little bit of a body scan. So see how you feel today, maybe from an energy perspective, maybe from a hydration perspective. Maybe you've been having some pain that you've been managing lately and you need to make note of that as we start. We'll make another note at the end of class as to how you feel as well. So just taking a moment to kind of check in with yourself. And then we're going to do our 3-stage breathing that we do sometimes. It's been a little while since I've done it, but I'm pretty sure I remember the cueing for this one. So what we're going to do is take one continuous breath in and out. So that doesn't change. And really, that's our main goal anyway. And we have 3 different focus points on the way. So as we take a breath in, we're going to fill up air in our chest, our diaphragm, and our belly. And then as we take a breath out, we're going to squeeze the air out of our belly, our diaphragm, and then our chest. So working in reverse. Breath in, chest, diaphragm, belly, getting nice and tall in your chair, and then breath out, belly, diaphragm, and chest on the exhale. So we're just focused on some nice even breaths in and out. If you're doing the 3-stage breathing, that's great. If you would rather just take nice even breaths without that extra focus point, that's totally fine too. So we'll do 2 more like that. I'll just cue them again. So that's a breath in with chest, diaphragm, belly, and a breath out, belly, diaphragm, chest, and 1 more of the same. Even breath in and an even breath out. Awesome. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed here or open them as we start to do a little gentle movement. We're going to start right at the top of our head, at the crown of our head, to take some nice small circles as if you have a pencil attached to the top of your head drawing on the ceiling. And then back the other direction. Good. Last one like that. And then we'll take 2 circles in each direction, getting nice and big now. So a full head and neck circle, 2 in one direction, and 2 back the other way. Great. Come on and bring your head back through neutral. Shoulders are set. We're going to do a little bit of warm up through our trapezius muscles, typically very tight, but the back part of our trapezius muscles doesn't get as much work. And I'd like a little bit of a upward but backward shrug. So your arms come away from each other a little bit. And then as you take the arms down, you're going to shrug the base of your shoulder blades down. So it'll be up and back for the shoulders, almost to have the shoulder blades touch at the top end, and then firmly down the base of your shoulder blades pressing down your back. So neither of these things have to be the most you could possibly use these muscles. So no, it doesn't have to be a big, big squeeze. Just needs to be enough to activate and start to warm up through some of these muscles that sit around our shoulder blade. So it's a little upward, backward shrug, and then down set. And we're going to keep our shoulders more or less in that down set position throughout class today. Last two. And one. Good. Just shake that out a little bit. We're getting ready to do a little bit of hinge work next. So depending on your level of mobility and core function, you might decide it's best to stay at your chair back for this, thinking more about building height through your spine, engaging through your core, or if you're able to come slightly forward on your chair, we are hinging with a long spine to come forward and back up tall. So again, pick what's best for you. Keeping that long spine, engaging our core muscles to help protect our low back. And now we're keeping those shoulders away from our ears. Good, last two. And one. All right, come back up tall. Let's go to a rotation. This is our first rotation of class. Be nice and gentle with yourself. Hips are even on the chair. Both hands are on same side lap. We're rotating through the mid spine to come side through center. So these might be very small movements. That is just fine. Maybe you're adding a shoulder check as well. So adding a little more movement through the neck. Good, two more on this side. And one. All right, and then we're resetting through center, getting ready to do the same on the other side. Nice comfortable moves. We're not trying to work through anything past just a comfortable range here, especially as we just get warmed up. Great, last two. And one. Awesome. Come on back through center again. I have a few different chest and back exercises for you today. That's one of our main exercises or main muscle groups we'll use. So give me a forward press on one side. Pick a side. The other hand can be on your lap for support. And then as you start to do this, you might decide you're also going to hinge. So getting a little more reach for that forward press. So if our shoulders away from our ears, we should be feeling the warm up happening mainly through the chest, of course, through the shoulders a little bit as well. Good, last one here. Let's change to the other side and do the same. So you might stay upright for this whole sequence, or you might hinge and press. Good, we'll do four more here. Last two. And one. All right, we're gonna actually stay in that same position, but now we're gonna have a closed fist to do a little bit more of a punch. And we get an option of a little bit of rotation as we do this one. So we're still using our chest muscles. We're staying low enough in our punch cross body that it's not creeping up into the muscles that sit between shoulder and ear. Good, two more. And one. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Sorry, there's a hair that's tickling me. There we go. If you're just joining us, we're just working through our warm-up right now. And then for equipment, you will need a physio band. That's all you'll need. Also, I didn't say before, but I cue a few water breaks. It's handy to have some water with you and just grab a drink whenever you need it. Good, last two. And one. All right, and then for our row, we're gonna do almost the same thing, but kind of in reverse of what we were just doing. So now we're gonna reach for something out front and then grab onto it and pull it towards our body with a slight bit of rotation. If you decide the rotation doesn't feel quite right, you're not ready for that, that's fine. You can stay facing fully forward with your shoulders or small rotation. Again, that rotation is coming mid-spine more than through the hips. So hips are staying forward in your chair. Last two and one. Awesome. And then the same on the other side, reaching for something, grabbing and pulling it in past your hip. Nice controlled move. You can be back on your chair or slightly forward for this one. We're doing 3 and 2 and 1. Good. And then we'll just finish off with a little bit more shoulder warm up, and warm up will be pretty much done. So pick a side, give me just, I call this a wing flap, bent elbow, side lift. Good. Last one like that. We're going to add another piece to that one, same side. You're going to go up, rotate palm faces forward, down and in. So adding one more piece to that. If this rotation does not feel great for the shoulder, maybe you take it a little bit lower and try again. And if that still doesn't feel right, you're going to just do the first piece, the wing flap. We're going to take that down and reset, adding one more piece if it feels good for you. And we're only going to do it 3 times. So we're going to go up, rotate, reach above your head, bring it down all the way to your start position. So that was 1. Lots of steps in this one. 2 and good. 3. Awesome. Let's do the same on the other side. We started with that bent elbow wing flap. And maybe you'll decide to stay here throughout if this side's shoulder is problematic and you it doesn't feel great to rotate. Good. Let's do one more like this. And then let's add in the second piece. Shoulder is set. Elbow comes up, hand rotates to face forward, down and in. Last one like this. And then we're going to finish this one off as we did the other side with the option of the third piece. So up, rotate, reach above your head, come back down to that shoulder level and pull in. That's 1. 2 and 3. Perfect. Okay, that is our warm up done. I'm just gonna grab a drink of water. So if you feel like you need one too, go ahead. And we're gonna get started on introducing our pyramid sequence for today. So don't feel intimidated by the sounds of that. It is totally fine working within your own comfort levels. We are going to use the band right away. So you certainly can have it close, but we're going to do one thing without it first. And to introduce what pyramids means, we're going to do the same 3 exercises, and we're going to do them 3 times, 6 times, 9 times, 6 times, 3 times. That's our full pyramid. So fairly high repetitions. Your band is maybe a light one if you have a choice between bands. And maybe at some point you decide that you still would like to do the movements, but the band is more difficult than you would like as you continue and get a little more tired. Then you'll set down the band and do the movements without resistance. So that's always an option. So our first exercise, we're going to do it 3 times nice and slow just to kind of introduce you to it, and then we'll go from there, is our seated burpees. So if you need the support of your chair back, you're going to reach down towards your shins and then up towards the ceiling without a hinge. Or if you're able to hinge, you're going to really reach down to your toes up to the ceiling. So these are bigger moves. When I do 3 of these, I'm actually not doing 3 specific times. I'm going to slow count to 3, and we're going to get a couple more in there as we go. For now, this is good. And then our next one is going to be with the band. We're going to do a wide row. Sorry, I felt like something was biting me. Okay, shoulders are set. Arms are extended to the front. We're gonna row to belly button level, but really quite wide. So arms are coming away from your sides. Shoulder blades are squeezing in and down. We'll do one more of those for now. Good. And then we're going to go to an overhead press for our third move of this pyramid. That's one hand at your chest, the other one ready to punch for the ceiling. So we're going to do 3 on one side, and then we're going to switch and do 3 on the other. You might decide you want to change how much band you have between your 2 hands for this. So we're going to punch for the ceiling. Shoulder stays away from your ears for 3, 2, and 1. Now, if your shoulder restricts your ability to reach overhead, you've got a couple of options. You can punch for the ceiling as far as is comfortable, or you could press for the front instead. So both of those are options if you feel that's best. We're gonna switch to the other side and do the same. We're gonna punch up for 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So that is the first piece to our pyramid done. We're going to kind of settle into a routine and move a little bit more fluidly now. So band can be down for the first thing. I do have like an insect that is biting me right now. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry about that. Don't know where it came from. We're gonna do our burpees, 6 of them. Here are a slow count of 6, so I'll count out loud. Here we go. Down to the floor, up to the ceiling for 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Finish off one more for me. Awesome. Let's go to our wide rows for 6. So you're grabbing that band. You can always wrap it if you are more comfortable with that. Rowing back to belly button level. Shoulder blades together for 6, 5. Nice long, tall spine. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And then changing the band distance between your 2 hands if you need it. I think I'm going to leave mine the same as we punch for the ceiling or for the front. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Same thing on the other side. Shoulders set. Hand is to your chest for a little bit of stability as we go. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And then moving on to 9. So here we go. Burpees for 9. Reaching down to the floor, up to the ceiling. For 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finish off one more for me here. There we go. All right, 9 wide rows coming up. Shoulders are set. Nice and tall through your spine. Here we go. Elbows back, shoulder blades together for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Almost done this top piece of the pyramid. We have 9 presses for the ceiling. Change it up. Give yourself more band if you need to. Make sure you're still keeping that shoulder away from your ears. Here we go. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Reset. Come around to that other side of your chest. Do the same. For 9. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. That is our 9s done. Shake it out. Decide how you feel. Change things up if you need to. We are going for our 6s. So we've got all the way to the top. We're going back down the other side with our seated burpees, reaching for the floor, reaching for the ceiling. Got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finish one more. Awesome. All right, let's do 6 of those rows. Shoulders are set. Starting with an extended arm, pulling into belly button level. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And then those 6 overhead presses. Here we go. Almost done these. These are a tough one to do a lot of. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And same thing on the other side. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All we have left is 3s, and I'm going to slow them down a little bit just to give you a little more core interaction as we do this one. So a nice slow, we're going to do 6 in total, even though it's really a 3 count, but we're going to do 6 burpees where we reach down and then we engage through our abs and really reach up. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and last one here, I promise, 6. Good. For our row, we have the same thing, and we will do just 3 of them. We can slow it down a little bit with our back still on the chair, so please pick that option if that's best for you, or slightly away from our chair back so that we can do a little bit of sit back for more core engagement. So we're gonna do these nice and slow. Make sure you're taking some nice even breaths in and out. So we're gonna row back and maybe sit or press back for 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then for our 3 overhead presses, again, if your shoulders have had about enough of using the band, you're welcome to use it without the band. We're going to also slow it down and maybe do a little side flex. So it'll look like this. I'll demo first and then we'll do 3 of them together. So maybe you're pressing straight up as we have been doing, or maybe you're going to do a press that flexes through your spine and uses your side core muscles, your obliques a little bit more. So we'll do those together now. Side flex is optional. We got 3, 2, and 1. Good. Reset. Come to the other side. Decide if you want to do that overhead press straight overhead or with side flex. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right. So we made it through pyramid number 1. We only have one more pyramid to do. If you want a drink of water or just to kind of shake it out and give yourself a little reset before we start with our second pyramid, I will introduce that in a minute. Okay. So same format, we have 3 different exercises. Maybe you're doing some shoulder rolls here, or maybe you're dropping your head side to side and dropping your chin to your chest, slowly shaking your head. Just releasing any tension in our neck, especially when we do overhead work, we have a tendency to put a little more tension in our neck, even when we're trying not to. So Um, this next one, safe to say we do not have any overhead work to do, maybe. I do have one exception to that, but I'll let you decide. It's an option. So our first one is seated jacks, and that's why I say maybe, because we have lots of options of how our seated jacks are going to look. So if you would like to keep it low and controlled, you're gonna do our wing flap, so side to side with a bent elbow. If you would like to do bigger moves, maybe you're only going up to shoulder height, or maybe you're going our full jack arms, okay? So that will be our first move. You have lots of options. So if overhead, you're done with that, keep it low, okay? So that will be number one. Number two is our chest press. So give me a moment to set you up for this one, and then we'll leave the band there, hopefully. So we're going to take the band and take it behind your back. And we're going to leave it like that. So for this exercise, we're going to use it, obviously, but when we're not using it, hopefully we can just kind of let it sit here while we do our jacks, and you don't have to keep threading it back behind your back over and over again. So this will be our one time that we have it threaded and ready to go. Hopefully you're able to get that set up. If not, if you have a small set of hand weights, you're welcome to use them for this next exercise, or you're using range of motion with no resistance, also just fine. For this one, we have the band putting a little bit of tension on our low back. So we have to work a little bit harder with our core to make sure that we're supported here. And we're going to do chest press to a center target. So if you can imagine, there's a bullseye right in front of you here. You're going to punch it from both sides. So you're going to go first with one arm, punch to center, and then with the other. We're keeping it low, belly button level or slightly more. Let's do it again. And one more time. Good. So that's our chest press. And then our third one is extended W arms. So we're going to keep the band pretty much where it's at. It might kind of creep up to a little bit more at shoulder blade level. That's okay with me if it does. We're going to punch out to the sides. We're going to keep shoulders set both at the same time. We're going to go press out and in. Depending on your resistance of the band, it might be a very small move. That's okay. Good. Last one. Out and in. Awesome. So that was the three of our pyramid as our introduction. You're going to put that band hopefully where it stays and it's not going to slide away from its position at your low back while we do our seated jacks. So here we go with sixes. Your choice of how big you're moving. We're going to go for 6. Oh yeah, if you want to work even harder, both arms at the same time, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, and finishing off with 1. Perfect. Good. Reset. Keep those shoulders low. Grab the band. Shoulders are set. Elbows are out to the side. We're punching to that bullseye target out front. So you're going to punch first with one arm and then with the other for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Keeping that band in hand. If the band's coming a little bit higher at your back, that's totally fine, or keep it where it is. That's good too. Shoulders are set, punching out to the side. Wide W, narrow W for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Set that band down just to keep it resting in place as we start our 9s, top of the pyramid. Here we go, seated jacks, both arms or single arm for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, almost done, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right, reset those shoulders, getting ready for our 9 of the chest press. Again, change it up. No resistance if you're finding this is challenging as we get into more repetitions. Here we go, punching to that center target for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right, getting ready for our wide W. Here we go, punching off to the side or pressing side for 9. Keep those shoulders low. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, that's the top of the pyramid done. It gets shorter from here, so we've got 6s to do coming up right away. Band is down just for a moment as we set up for our seated jacks, single or dual arms. Here we go. I'm gonna do singles this time. Dual arms if you like for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Woo. All right, getting ready for our chest press at 6s. We are nearing the end of this pyramid, our last one for today. Here we go to our center target for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And then we're going to our extended W. Here we go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. And we're going to finish it up as we did the other with a bit of a slowdown. So I think we will just do 3 of the seated jacks as well. We've done a lot of those already. Those shoulders have worked pretty hard. So this time we're going to go nice, slow, sweeping overhead move. Let's use 3 on one side. 3, 2, and 1, and then 3 on the other. Slow sweeping move like a slow motion half jack. 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. For our chest press, we're going to do both arms together to our center target now. So they'll come probably until your fists meet at center, and it's like a slow motion hug, okay? So shoulders stay set, core muscles, or sorry, chest muscles engage, core as well, to slowly press to center, and then slowly come back to your start point. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Good. And no real change up for our side W's other than that we're going to do these a little bit slower too. So you can really think about posture, about the set of your shoulders. So nice and tall in your seat as you press out and come in for 3, 2, and last one here. Awesome. All right, you can unwind yourself from that band. That is all for our pyramids today, so you can shake out your shoulders a bit. I do have one more banded exercise specifically, and then we'll probably use the band for something else, but not really for resistance after that before we stretch. So we did a lot of overhead press. We did some side work too. So we used 2 of our main muscle groups of our shoulders quite extensively, but we haven't really used the rear shoulder muscles yet. So I wanted to sneak those ones in just so you have a nice balance between those main muscle groups in your shoulder. And so this one will still use the band. One hand is on your lap, crossbody, and the other one is going to do a long diagonal sweep behind you. So you're moving from the shoulder joint to engage your rear shoulder muscle as you press back and return. So from the side, just so you have that perspective, that press back and return. And we're gonna do 8 of those in total. I'm actually gonna count it out now. So if you've already started, you can do 8 and be finished here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Let's switch everything to the other side and do the same. So shoulder is set, arm is long, the movement is coming from my shoulder joint as I press diagonally back behind me for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Okay, perfect. So as I said, I'm going to use the band for one more thing. You could, if you happen to have like a cane or something like that, sometimes we use like a dowel for kayak paddling here. So if you have that like right beside you, great. Otherwise, we're going to use the band as our hand spacing tool. So I'm going to split mine in half just because it's a little bit easier to use that way, but we're not going to stretch it really. We're just using it to keep our hands evenly spaced apart. I want to do just a little bit of core work here. And we're going to do 2 different exercises that both use our oblique muscles. So if this is the first time that you're joining me, your oblique muscles are your side core muscles. So we have the muscles that run down the front, our 6-pack, and then we have our side core muscles that help us come back to center as we tip or stabilize us to keep us from tipping side to side. And they also help to pull us from rotation side to side as well. So we're going to use both of those functions of the muscle in our next 2 exercises. We'll just be here for a little bit and then it's time to stretch. So our first one is our rotational muscles. And that will be the band out front. And the band is optional. If you feel like you have a lot better support with your hands on the chair or the arms of your chair just to help stabilize you, that's okay. Or band is out front. We're going to rotate to the side, and then you're really going to think about those side core muscles pulling you through center. So it doesn't need to be a big rotation by any means. We want those side core muscles to really work to bring you back through center. This needs to be slow, so we're not really momentum based. We're really making those muscles do the job here. A lot of times when we use core muscles, we have a tendency to hold our breath. So just make sure you're still taking some nice even breaths in and out. We're going to do 1 more for now, each side. Back through center. Good. Just check in and see how that feels. Maybe you kind of reposition your seating so that you're nice and even from side to side through your sit bone points on your chair. Shoulders are set. Our second one is our side flex for our obliques. And this one will be kind of like you're holding on to, I don't know, a steering wheel. Obviously, this is not how we hold it, but holding on to a steering wheel, and you're going to steer side to side. But that's just the first piece. So that's just you kind of getting the feel of this. So now you're going to steer with your body too. So you're going to steer with your body to the side and then pull back through center. Steer with your body to the side, pull back through center. If this feels better with your hands on the chair, you're welcome to do that. Good. So again, pretty small move and fairly slow move too. I'm a big fan of sometimes moving a lot slower through our exercises to really get a good feel for what muscles we're using here. So let's do last 2 each way. And last one. Awesome. Okay. So we're gonna set that band away. We're all done with that. I'm gonna grab a quick drink of water again. And we're gonna get ready for stretch. I'm gonna try to leave a couple extra minutes for a breathing exercise today than I usually do. So we're starting our stretch just a tiny bit early. And I think because we've done our side flexes and rotations right now, a nice extended stretch would be nice. So what we're gonna do is if you need to be on your chair back for full support, you're gonna stay there, hands pressing gently into your lap, just to get a little bit of more extension through your spine. You're gonna think about really getting that stretch with a big breath in and out. If you're able to come away from your chair back, we're going to hinge to do the same stretch. So you're going to come tall, maybe gently pressing your hands into your lap, and then you're pausing somewhere you can get a nice long spine position and maybe a little bit of release through hips and low back. Good. Come on back up tall if you were hinged. And let's go ahead and stretch that out. We're going to do one side and then the other. So pick a side. Maybe you'll start with your right shoulder is set. Arm is starting out front. We're going to reach with a bent elbow back behind. And add a nice big stretch. Good. Last one like this. And then you're taking this to a low diagonal. So you're going to press back with a bit more of an extended arm this time. Last one here. Good. And then we're going to press diagonally up towards the ceiling, and maybe it'll also look that way. So we're just going to do it 3 times in total here. 3, 2, and 1. And then you'll shake out that shoulder with your hand on your lap. And we'll switch to the other side to do the same. So with the bent elbow coming out at just below shoulder height, out to the side, back through center. Maybe taking some nice even breaths in and out while you're here. Last one like this. Great. And then moving to that low diagonal, pressing back with an extended arm this time. So getting an active stretch through our shoulders and through our chest here too. One more. And then we'll do that upward reach 3 times, where maybe you're also looking up as you're reaching up for 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. All right. Reset those shoulders, sitting nice and tall in your chair still. We'll take one arm and sweep it cross body and bring it in for a little bit of a hug. Sometimes this brings our shoulder really close to our ear. So if you find that that's what's happened to you, you're going to reset that one and do it again. Low shoulder to start, low shoulder when we're getting this stretch as well. If you need a little extra stretch, you're going to rotate towards the side where your hand is extended. Just a little bit. Good. And then you'll ease your way back through center. We'll do the same thing. Long arm extended, shoulder is low. Getting that little bit of a hug to get some extra stretch, and then maybe also rotating just slightly to add to the stretch. Good. Ease your way back through center. We have 2 different options, actually 3 different options for the next stretch. That will depend on your shoulder mobility. So we're going to stretch chest and front shoulders. This is one of my favorite ones right now. If you do my class, I do this one every time, I believe. So hands on the hips is the easiest for our shoulders to pull elbows back, get a stretch. Hands in your back pockets maybe you can come forward on your chair if that's available to you to pull your elbows back, a little bit more stretch. And then our third option to get even more stretch is hands on the chair back. This will depend on your chair to slightly hinge, elbows back, and then you can start to kind of play around with how high is a nice stretch for you. So I want to make sure that that doesn't make your shoulders roll forward. You still have that long spinal position as you do this. So you feel a little bit like a ski jumper or something here, right? Like you're getting set to go. Nice long position with your shoulders away from your ears. So any of those three is great. You're going to reset that and do it again. So pick your favorite of those three. I'm going to put hands in my back pockets for this one, elbows back, pressing maybe gently through your hips if your hands are on your hips or in your back pockets right now to get a little more stretch through your chest and front shoulders here. Great. And then you can unwind yourself from that one. I'm going to be back on my chair for the next few things, so we'll stay there with back support as needed. We're going to stretch through our neck next. We are going to do that first just with a tip of our ear towards one shoulder. Doesn't matter which side you picked first. If you feel like this isn't enough stretch and you want to very gently take your hand and gently press into your head to get a little more, just be really aware of how this feels, if that extra pressure is good or not. Good, and then you'll ease your way back through center. Do the same thing. So I suggest starting without the hand on your head and just see how that feels. It might just be enough without adding any extra resistance, or if you really like that extra little bit of stretch, just a gentle touch of your fingertips on your head, you're welcome to do that. Good. Ease your way back through center. One more for you, another neck stretch. We're going to take our chin and drop it to look towards one hip. And then you're going to take some nice big breaths in and out, almost like you could send some extra space to that muscle that's being stretched right now at the back of your neck on that one side. And then you're going to look back through center and do the same on the other side. Chin drops so that you're looking down towards your hip. Taking some nice even breaths in and out. So we're still really long through our spine, even though, we've turned our head in a different direction, but the rest of our spine is a very long line. And then come on back through center. Awesome. All right, so I left just a tiny little bit more for breathing exercise. I've done this one with you fairly recently. It's one of my favorites. It's nice and relaxing. So don't let me rush you through any of these, this breathing sequence. If you miss one in my cueing, it's really no big deal. It's really all about kind of just turning your view inwards to your body and taking some nice even breaths in and out. So I suggest you closing your eyes if you feel comfortable doing that. And I'm going to start down at our glutes, so our butt muscles. If any of these exercises or muscle groups aren't available to you from a tension perspective, you can pick another muscle group instead that's going to work for you. So when we squeeze the muscle groups, you're going to squeeze your butt cheeks in your chair. You're going to take a breath in. And then as you release them, you'll take a breath out. So do that now, and then just take another breath in and out, nice and easy. Our next one is we're going to engage our core muscles by bringing ourselves slightly forward from our chair back, and then releasing with an exhale back to our chair back. Good. We're going to take a breath in as our shoulder blades squeeze in towards each other by our backbone. And then a breath out as our shoulder blades come back to their resting position. And then we're going to take a breath in as our shoulders shrug up by our ears. And a breath out as our shoulder blades shrug down our back. Good. Right hand is going to come down to your side. You're going to make a fist with your right hand, breath in, and then relax, breath out. And then you're going to keep that hand open and do a bicep curl, right hand, right arm, and then set that hand down in your lap. Exhale. Same thing with your left side. It comes down to your side. Breath in, make a fist. Breath out, release. Breath in, bicep curl on that left side. Breath out to set your hand down on your lap. Good. And then our last one for this breathing exercise today is to tense up the muscles of your face with a breath in and release them with a breath out. And then just give me some nice even breaths in and out here. We'll keep our eyes closed just for another moment. At the beginning of class, I said that we would do another little body check-in at the end of class. So you can do that now. So we did a body scan that kind of took into account energy levels, pain levels, hydration, all of those things. So just kind of do another check here at the end of class and see how you feel. Make sure you have another drink of water when we're done. You're going to take one more nice even breath in and out with your eyes closed. And then you can bring your eyes to open. And I always finish my class with 3 big breaths in, starting down low. So we're going to do that now. 3 big breaths in, starting down low, reaching for the ceiling for 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Thanks for joining me today. I always stick around for a few minutes after class. So if you want to say hi or you have any questions or anything, feel free. Otherwise, hope to see you again. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. It was very fun. It
Yeah, thank you. Nice to see you.
was my first time.
Okay, yeah, there was a couple of new names that I saw today, so you weren't the only new one. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it.
Good. Thanks. Bye-bye now.
Yeah, hope to see you again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I will see you next week.
Okay,
Was
sounds
fast.
good. Bye, Jane.